Back once again with Space Coast Eats, a delicious podcast. The podcast where we talk about dining, cuisine, food, and everything fun here on the Space Coast. My name is Jesse Hall. I'll be your host once again. This is episode 65. Starting it off on this episode with a very, very talented chef. Someone who has been on our show before. If you have been following us along, probably 3 years ago or so.
About 3 years ago, yeah, something like that.
Yeah, he made an appearance then, and you were at the chef's table, I believe.
I was at the chef's table, yeah. A lot has happened between now and then.
Yeah, so we're gonna catch up, but I'd like to remind everybody that this show wouldn't have happened with our great sponsor, Asian Time Cuisine. They're located in Suntree in the Fresh Market Plaza, right there off Wickham Road. Go visit. Say something like Space Coast Eats sent you, or Jesse told me this place was great. Any of which, Jimmy, the owner, would love to hear that. And the Hawaiian roll, they have full bar, they do lunch and dinner, just really great cuisine. And again, when you look at Asian, you want fresh, right? You want nice portions of fish. And I can promise you they do everything else. I don't endorse a whole lot of restaurants in this area because, again, it's my job to be kind of objective. I can't really have favorites. But if I want good sushi, Asian Time is a place. Let's get back to some business. The business at hand is with Chef Chris. He's in town just for this episode. I'm kidding. You may be visiting some other people like your girlfriend and other things. But I'd like to imagine he came just to town. And where'd you just come from? You just flew in from
Hamptons.
New York.
Yeah, from Hamptons, yeah.
How you like Long Island?
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Like, I've never actually been to the Hamptons, and I've never actually went to New York and not visited the city.
Really?
Yeah, I wanted to go to the city yesterday,
right.
But my principal, I did lunch and then headed back.
Okay.
And touched down in JFK, and I was like, oh, man, I really want to go to the city. Right. And then, speaking of sushi, I spent $70 on 12 pieces of fish. It wasn't even good.
It wasn't good?
No, I mean, it was mediocre at best. But when we're having sushi, we don't want mediocre.
So why are you such a critical diner? Do most chefs go out and you just have to critique everything?
I mean, I don't want to critique everything
right.
because I'll ruin the experience. I
know.
When my girlfriend and I go out, it's I know what I'm expecting. Right. If I go to local places, it's I get a shrimp Cuban. Not that I'm going to drop any names, but if I get a shrimp Cuban from Grills or something, I know what I'm getting. Right. It's exactly the same every time. I mean, it has to be completely shot out in left field for me to even complain.
Of course.
Burnt, raw chicken, over-salted. I'll even eat some salty food, but it's got to be bad for me to be this is complete crap.
Right.
But because, I'll just ruin dinners. I'll never be happy, But I make sure, one thing that I do, if service, food, ambiance, if it nails it out of the box, first of all, I hate Yelp. I hate Google reviews.
Yelp's the devil.
I absolutely hate those. Those are just, keyboard warriors. But
no palates.
No.
Yeah.
But I will say this, if it completely, gives me 10 stars on every single thing, I'll make a review.
Right.
I'll make a review. Just be yo, you nailed it. You nailed it. Because it's hard to nail it every single thing. And it's not Michelin. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to have, measuring your plateware or your flatware. You don't need to do that to give me a good experience, especially in Brevard.
Well, that's very generous because some people do realize that most mom and pops, they're probably not classically trained. Most often, even the purveyor may have been a chef. The guys behind the line doing the grunt work, they're probably not classically trained.
No.
They may not know all the French mother sauces. They may only know, again, what the recipes are there on the menu and what they're supposed to prepare. They're probably not going to be a seasonal, kind of menu type chef. They don't have that culinary skill set. And so, yeah, your expectations have to be in line with where you're going and so forth. However, maybe if you are going to something, a Michelin star, then of course put on that critique, because that's what they want. You're going there to see the best of the best. And of course it's all about the ambience. It's all about the service, the wine selection. Everything has got
everything
to be,
plays.
Right.
Everything plays into a star.
Yeah. Even the busboy, they all have a role. And that's how you earn a star, because from the hostess experience all the way to, the busboy, or any of the staff coming through the dining room, everybody is under a spotlight, heavily scrutinized.
I've been to Michelin restaurants where they, print my name.
Yeah.
Hey, congratulations, or we're glad you're here, Mr. Morales. And everything is just perfect. But that's what I'm paying for. I'm not paying to get full. I'm paying for an experience.
Exactly.
There's times where I'm out here. I'm like, I just need to eat. Mm-hmm. But if you go to Michelin, you go drive out of your way to some places. You expect that level.
Now, I have seen one of your Instagram posts where I think somebody asked, like, hypothetically, do you cook for yourself at home? And you're like, no, but I got Wendy's, and this is my meal.
Yeah.
Is that true for like most chefs?
Most chefs, yeah. Like if you're a painter, like rarely you'd paint at your house.
Right.
Like, yeah. And everyone's like, oh my God, they go to my girlfriend, and they're like, hey Becky, you must eat great. You're dating a chef. Absolutely not. Absolutely not.
The poor girl's feeling denied. Like, I got with this guy just so I could eat well. And
she eats. I'm telling you what, she's got a beautiful figure, but man, that girl can put down some food.
I know, right?
Like, and I'm sorry. Like, if we went on a date and she's eating a salad with a fork and a knife, and she's like, I'm full. You have no place in my life. Just get out.
Is that how you qualify girls?
Absolutely. I watch her dislocate her jaw for like this like big hoagie, and I'm like, oh yeah, she's got mayonnaise on the side of her cheek. Like, I'm gonna marry that girl.
Yeah, no kidding. That's awesome. Are you guys talking about marriage?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay.
I wouldn't waste my time at this age without without that. Yeah,
she's got a nice little smirk.
She's in the studio right now. She's an amazing person. She one thing that I will say, I've been a private chef, traveling, doing the show, doing all these things. It's even being a chef in a restaurant, my personal life, it's you need to be with someone special that understands that you got to work and like supports you. Like that's the biggest thing here is she is so supportive.
Because chefs work opposite 9 to 5.
Or the complete opposite.
Yeah.
We work 5 to 9,
right.
5 a.m. to like 9 p.m. It's completely opposite.
Right.
You want to celebrate Valentine's Day, guess what? It's going to be next Monday. I didn't celebrate Valentine's Day this year until in like March. I didn't celebrate her birthday till March.
Right.
Obviously you got to keep them separate. Mm-hmm. Whoever's listening to this, and if you have a husband or a wife and their birthday is near Christmas or near Valentine's Day, don't group them together. Mm-hmm. Absolutely don't. Keep them separate.
Right.
They need to be separate.
Yeah. Because they should be sacred.
Yeah.
Hold that space sacred for a birthday, because I have a friend who's born on Christmas, and he's just like, it's the worst because and I can't be with my friends because all the family's over, and it's like, so I never get to have one. Everybody else has a couple holidays, the moms get a Mother's Day, I get Christmas.
Yeah.
And no, I get it. And especially in the restaurant and service industry in general, hospitality in general, the holidays are for the job.
Exactly.
And it's just that's the way it is. I can't tell you how many New Year's Eves I worked, how many Christmas Eves I worked, Thanksgiving, Valentine's.
Christmas Eve is
Mother's
one of the
Days.
busiest days. Christmas Eve,
Yep.
Mother's Day.
Mother's Day is like huge.
I want to be with my mom on Mother's Day. I want to be with my girlfriend on Valentine's Day, but you're not. You're it's a lifestyle.
It is, and you're kind of married to it.
Yeah.
Have you been a restaurant owner?
I've been a partner.
Okay.
Been a partner, 28 North.
Okay.
And then Amici's Beachside many years ago. Years ago.
Yeah.
I don't really remember that though.
Yeah, I don't remember an Amici's Beachside.
Yeah, it's where Tide and Tonic is right now.
Now I do remember.
So we built that. We built that out. It was Foreman's, and then I think Foreman still lives there. It's in like the attic or something. I swear that place is haunted. But I'd ask my guys like, why are there third pans on the ground right now? And they're like, oh, chef, I closed the restaurant last night. It wasn't there. We'd go back on the cameras. There'd be pans flying off. We're like, yeah, okay.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it's not like Ashley's though. Ashley's, oh my God.
Yeah. For those who don't know, in Rockledge on US 1, there's an old restaurant. I don't know if
from the 30s.
I don't know if it's always been a restaurant. Maybe a restaurant since that time. It's been a couple of generations. But I remember that it was featured on like Unsolved Mysteries.
Yeah. It was one of those shows where it was, and it's creepy. Like their food can be great, but I don't want that thing follow me home. I'm sorry. Like I'll burn some sage or there's something with me. Like I respect the ghosts, and do I believe in ghosts? Yeah, but we'll keep them at bay. Like I don't.
Yeah, I heard there's some Civil War. I'm not sure if they were Confederates or which part of the Civil War that it was, but apparently they were like either hiding or captive in the basement. And
I heard they were captive in the basement, and then I also heard that there was a girl that passed away on the railroad tracks, and I don't know.
Yeah, you could hear a small girl crying sometimes in the female bathroom.
No.
Yeah.
I'm good.
Some restaurants are more than just the food. You get a lot more.
Yeah, dining experience.
Okay.
Like medieval times.
Oh man. So let's talk about more of the experience because also this year you just were a judge for one of the Battle Bros events.
Yeah. Sean asked me again to do the tacos and treats, 4th annual, which is always an honor. You know, like it's still small town.
Right.
Like Brevard's small. You know how it is.
Yeah.
But being able to, to see people put their best foot forward most of the time, it's awesome. And, like they give me tickets to raffle off. And, I raffle on my social media, on WeChef, on the Instagram. And I basically, I I do the judging on Saturday. And then Sunday, I take the winners after I raffle them off and I show them, hey, like, this is what I thought was great. These are the ones that are like awesome. And then I'll give them a follow because, these are small businesses, you know. There's this Tennessee gentleman that just knocked it out of the park this year. And
for the taco?
For the treat.
Oh, really?
For the treat, yeah. It was like this like waffle with like this butter pecan. Like oh God.
Man.
Oh, I can go for one right now.
Really?
Oh yeah. Good? Oh my God. Like I actually went. So when we judge, it's anonymous because we don't know who's who.
Right.
But I asked, hey Sean, like I really want to show, this person, this truck. Oh, it's this person. It's this person. And there's just some that just absolutely nail it. And yeah, and I give them a shout out because, that's their livelihood, that they put their heart, and it's not on a plate because it's not my style of plating. It's not my style, but I appreciate, give me a really good taco in the greasiest form of like a paper bag and I'm happy. Right. You don't need to have tweezers to make me happy.
Right.
My plates on the other hand, I don't know, but
you love your tweezers.
Love 'em. I mean, they're on my arm for a reason.
Well, you got a lot of ingredients on your skin.
Yeah. It's
you can, if you were to make a dish with all those ingredients on your skin, what would that look like?
Well, let's see. I got the mushrooms. I got the steak. I got the steak and morels. I love pasta, so I don't know.
Is that a prawn or lobster?
No, that's a lobster. I got the prawn back here, but I got the herbs.
It looks like a delicious meal. I don't know. Like it just looks like if you were to put all those ingredients together, it look like it would be amazing.
Yeah, I don't know about the sushi. That'd be interesting.
Yeah, well, maybe that's an amuse-bouche.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, before the main course.
You'd be surprised how often that this arm with all the utensils come in handy because I don't really know like fish spat in like Spanish or squeeze bottle, but I'll ask my dishwasher like, "Hey, donde?" And he looks at me and says, "Oh, come here, I'll show you." And I just point at what I need.
That is brilliant.
Yeah, I mean it's double use, I guess.
That's a life hack. I think every chef should now take that. If there's one takeaway, do that. Follow Chef Chris's tattoo art and yeah. You it looks like again it's all very much culinary food, just dedicated.
Yeah, I go to one girl. She's in Brevard as well. I go to one person, Liat at Cocoa Village Tattoo. Like that's one person that I go to. Yeah, she's done every single one of my tattoos.
That's awesome. Yeah, I see some cilantro on there. I mean, she's got the
cilantro,
herbs right.
Parsley.
What's great is that you could actually
decipher which one. Yeah, like dill. It's not just like splattered on there.
Yeah, No,
and the detail on the Sharpie. One thing, like if you never worked in a restaurant, you're like, why do you have a Sharpie on you? You work in a restaurant, you're like, oh, you date out things. All right.
Yeah. If you don't have a Sharpie at hand, but even you'll see spoons, thermometers, because most chef jackets will have a couple places. And well, that's an exclusive one. Not everybody.
It's a very exclusive one.
Not everybody has that. No, we'll get into that as well. So. No, it's great that you judge. It's great that you bring, what you have available, all your talents back home. You share it. And again, you got to lift everybody up because, some people may be inspired by seeing the things that you're doing, including, NBC's Yes Chef. And we're going to get into that. But there's so much again, backstory because I know this show has it often gets people a little bit of a lift in their career. And again, you said you've never been to the Hamptons.
No, I never been to the Hamptons.
So do you have clientele out there now?
Yeah, I have principals out there now. Yeah. I can't really go much into the principals because of, exclusivity. Yeah. But I got this principal because of a chef on the show. I wasn't closed-minded. I wanted to go out there, even though we were, segregated and we couldn't really use any phones. And, it was like, hey, can I call my girlfriend today? Well, we'll see what we can do. I made sure I called her on her birthday, though. That was for sure. Valentine's Day, I really wasn't worried about. I'm like, look, I just want to make sure, I call my girlfriend on her birthday.
That's kind of a Hallmark thing.
Yeah, I'll give her chocolate and be like, hey, baby, I love you. But Yeah, when I went out there, I wanted a network because remember, these chefs are all from all across the United States.
Right.
You know, you have some from California, northern and southern. You have a chef from Wyoming. was from Wyoming. She's the governor's private chef.
That's fascinating.
She came out of left field. Like I didn't. And then you have T, which is T and Zane, two just pronounced female chefs in the game. They are two of the most badass chefs that I've probably ever met. They throw down. They're not fine dining. They're not bougie. They're not any. They're just their flavors punch you in the face.
Right.
And we got the honor to cook at the Hard Rock in May.
Which Hard Rock?
Hard Rock, Bristol.
Oh, very cool.
So they invited us there. They put us up in a hotel, no budget because it's a casino.
Right.
And gave us a stipend and basically says, cook the dish that was on the first show. And
fun.
so Patrina did her gazpacho, where she got redemption. And it was actually good if she didn't strain it. Like the flavors were good, but I don't know what she was thinking straining it. That's not my thing. But yeah, chefs from all over. New York, Florida being me,
right.
Maine, and then California and Texas and all that. So it was a bunch of chefs that had issues from all over the world, or I'm sorry, all over the United States,
right.
just being vulnerable on national television.
Well, as they introduce, that first episode, they kind of go into everybody's backstory, and they bring up, somebody's sous chef or somebody's, server or somebody else that works with them, and those people, they weren't, they were pretty brutal. Like they were just very honest. Like, I mean, I remember the gentleman that gave your testimony, he's like, he called it like it is, and I'm just like, yeah, that's
that's me.
and not for nothing, I feel like a lot of the people kind of just like they just sat there and just kind of took it and just got to agree with it. I mean, nobody was too bashful or were in too much denial to look at that testimony from a friend or associate and be like, yeah, that's kind of me. I mean,
yeah, it was. I mean, I want to say it was hard to listen to, but I knew nothing he said wasn't out of the ordinary. Like, yeah, I want things done my way. Like that note that I slipped under the door that says, say nice shit or I'm making your life a living hell. Right. No, that was exactly true. I mean, that wasn't made up. But yeah, like I've made sous chefs cry. Like there was one of my sous chefs that, she actually quit because of me. Oh. And she was crying, and she would do good. She would do well, but she was just so insecure. Maybe I can nominate her for season 2 of Yes Chef.
So NBC likes it. There's going to be a second season.
I'm hoping so. It'd be great. I think it's picked up. It had mixed reviews at the beginning,
right?
And like every new show does.
Every new show does.
They're like, oh, these crybabies, these chefs. But you know what? Tell those people to work and put yourself in my shoes for a day, a week. Make it your lifestyle. And she ended up quitting because of me. And I gave her. She gave her 2 weeks, and lo and behold, she's telling everyone, it was a pleasure meeting with you. She was like this little sorry, pobrecito, poor me. And then I look at her, I'm like, I wish I could say it was a pleasure working for you, but it wasn't. Now get out of my kitchen. And then she like held the door open. I'm like, nah, and I shut the door and locked it. And I was like, get out. But it was just, you gotta have thick skin in this business.
Yeah.
I've had plates thrown at me. I feel like I'm on the cusp of. I was mentioning it earlier. I'm on the cusp of like old school versus new school.
Yeah, explain that.
Like old school, like your chefs, like they demand perfection. They'll belittle you. They'll throw stuff. They'll yell. They'll be angry. And then the new ones, you sneeze in their direction. They're like, oh, you got a booger on me. Oh, I'm suing. That's the world we live in now. It's
complete departure.
Yeah.
It's. So have somebody made you ever cry?
Martha, Stewart, and Jose Andrés.
No.
Yeah, you'll get to see me. Get to see me. Yeah, like even when Peter got voted off, I cooked Peter off.
Yeah.
And I got choked up, and
I saw that. Yeah.
It's hard dramatic to see, and like I said, it's trauma bonding. Like they took everything from us, and the most emotional that I feel like I've been lately is when my girlfriend made me cry. Like seeing her face on her birthday, just looking pretty, going out with her friends, and I couldn't be there. It messes with your mind.
Yeah.
Like it's not just, oh man, I got to cook, I got to do this, I got to do this. You're cooking at a level against these chefs from all over the United States for Martha and José with mics and cameras in your face and the whys and becauses and all that, and then you get to see something that feels like home. Like to me, seeing my girlfriends, that's home to me.
Right.
And seeing her, I'm like, oh man, and I'm like crying my eyes out, and I'm like, oh man, I didn't care. Like at that point in time, I didn't care. You know what? Let the world see. I'm human. You know, I don't. It is what it is.
No, and that's great to be vulnerable because most times those that do get that thick skin and nothing can beat them down, those are usually the biggest softies. They just grew a big shell. They just have the biggest, hardest shell, and it's because they don't want to be an emotional wreck, or maybe they do have a sensitive side. Yeah. But in the heat of the moment and physically, like if you can't take the heat, get out of the kitchen, as they say, it is so like there's so much stress compounding on you, and it's everything, not just getting the plate right, but it's also having the expediter take out the plates at the right time in the right positions, and so you got to count on them to do their job. You got to count on the dishwasher to make sure you're going to have a new saute pan when you need it. Like all these things have to work, and that pressure's in the back of your mind because if it fails, you got to run that hot food out. You got to go and get a new pan or a spatula or whatever else you need. So it's really up to you at the end of the day, and that pressure falls on the chef, and those guys on the line who have to make it happen.
Yeah, I mean, we do, let's say, for example, in a normal restaurant, you do 200 covers a night. That's 200 times that, that you have a chance to mess up. Right. And then you multiply that by, which, plates coming off of which, garde-manger, entremet, or whoever it is. There's so many uncontrolled variables that you cannot control. Right. And you got to understand that you cannot control. You can mentor someone, and you can teach someone. You can teach someone how to saute fish, pan-sear fish, or do a risotto, or whatever it is that you can teach them. But once that dupe comes in, that check comes in, it's out of your hands. Like you gotta trust. You gotta trust and track. That's why you go private. Go private. You can only hold yourself accountable. Something goes wrong. Like there's a lot of stress in private too because of who you deal with and who I deal with. But if something goes wrong, it's on me. Granted, at the end of the day, like in a restaurant, everyone's like, "Oh yeah, it's the chef's fault. They're gonna come barking at me." Well, yeah, it is. But then it's my job to go. Why is my chicken overcooked? Right. Why is my sauce broken? Let me handle it. But from the guest point of view, it's always the chef. Oh. From the owner's point of view, it's always the chef, and I got to take the blunt for it. Like I'm not one of those chefs that point fingers. I'll take it. I will take the lashings, and then I'll dish them out to whoever didn't do it right. Yeah. And that's something that I need to still learn. I mean, if I were to ever go back into public kitchens, it's like public school and private school.
Has someone ever told you to take like a behavioral type of anger management or anything else?
Oh yeah.
More times than you could count, or has it been just a handful?
How big's your hand? Yeah, I mean, so one thing that I'm a big advocate for is sobriety. Like you can see it on the show. It shows it on my social media. Right. I'm proud of that. And when I first started, putting down the bottle and going to meetings and all that, I thought it was just the drink that was my issue. And then lo and behold, it's like, no, that was just the drop in the bucket. It's all your behavioral issues. It's your anger, your ego. Like I was saying earlier, it's I'm Cuban, I'm Italian, I'm a chef, and I'm an alcoholic. Right. Like you that's a volatile situation. Like sure. That's like just waiting to explode. And being from old school, working in Michelin and doing that, and working for some of the chefs that I've worked for, I expect hard asses. I expect thick skin, and it's a lot of stress. And when we stress out, we flip out. And I love Peter, but that was the old me. Right. That was me at 23, 25, even 27 and 30. I would just freak out. I'd throw stuff, and it's gotten less.
Good.
It's gotten less. There is growth. There is growth. But realizing, finding my shortcomings and, where I went wrong and what I do wrong, and holding myself accountable. I'm trying to hold all these other line chefs and all these other commies accountable. When do I start and hold myself accountable?
100%. Right.
So recognizing it and making, direct amends when I need to.
And did you do the whole 12 steps?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Really? Okay.
Absolutely.
So you went through the whole program.
I went through the whole program. Yeah. I got the big book. I got it on my phone. I'm very big on sobriety because it has brought me so many things. It's brought me, Instagram, the following that I did, because those photos you wouldn't see.
Yeah, let's have a look.
Yeah. You wouldn't see those photos without me being sober, because I wanted to do something with my time. Mm-hmm. When I was just, after dinner,
right.
After dinner service, guess what we would do? We'd go out, we'd get drunk, we'd hang out. Well, I'd go home and I'd edit photos. I would take photos of, some of my dishes, mm-hmm. and then it led me to my first Food Network show, and I was like, wow, that's cool. And
so talk about that one a little bit. Because you still had a temper.
Yeah, I had a temper, but it was so short-lived that I didn't have a chance to get angry.
How many episodes did you last?
Oh, it was just a single one. It's called Supermarket Stakeout.
Okay.
It's called Supermarket Stakeout. I did it. I met some great chefs. I actually have a friend for life now. We all talk every once in a while.
All right.
She flew in from Tampa. She flew in, drove from Tampa to here, eat the chef's table, and then drove back to Tampa.
Nice.
But yeah, I did that, and it led to Instagram monetizing my reels, and I started getting paid, and I was like, wow, like. Cool. And then, I got a laptop and some lights and some photography, and then wrote that off because I'm a 1099 now.
Sure.
But then tax season came around. But yeah, and then it led to, endorsements. I got companies now like throwing knives at me, not physically, not like I would do.
Right.
But, I got a knife sponsor.
Yeah.
I'm trying to get another.
Can you divulge who that is?
Yeah, it's going to be Nova. Mm-hmm. It's going to be Nova Knives.
Where are they at?
They are, I think, overseas.
Yeah, because correct me if I'm wrong, but aren't like some of the best cutlery from Japan, or even like who is it? Swedish. I think there are some good Swedish companies. Layoul from France. I mean, there's some really good cutlery out there. You have to seek it though.
Yeah, they actually ended up. Where are they at? I should know this. But yeah, it's actually pretty cool that knife sponsors or knife sponsors, and my girlfriend and I are working on getting a new place, and
nice.
There's some companies wanting to give me saute pans and mixers.
Dude,
yeah, it's still in the works right now. Yeah. But yeah, it's amazing what sobriety can do, and it's not just it's not just the physical things, it's the way I am towards like my girlfriend, like, and other people. Relationships, whether you're intimate with them or not, it's how you deal with people and what my actions and how they affect other people, and coming to realize that it was an issue for me. Right. I'm like, I'm not hurting anyone. I was drinking and driving and having a bottle in my car, and it's just a slippery slope. 1 leads to 2, 2 leads to 4, 4 leads to I don't know how many, because I black out.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure if it was an Instagram post or something that you confessed on Yes Chef, where you would create a menu.
Oh, that was on Yes Chef.
Yeah. Okay, so that was episode 5, I think.
That was episode 5. I'm very open, and I'm a big advocate for sobriety in the restaurant. Right. Granted, like when I envisioned an alcoholic, I thought it was a homeless guy with a paper bag and a 40 in his paper bag and a shopping cart.
Like you can't if you're not functioning, then that makes you alcoholic.
Yeah. Right. And it's like, no, like there's alcoholics like from all walks of life, and that's what I learned in the program. Like walking into a meeting, there's people in suits and ties. Yeah. And it's there's firemen, there's school teachers, there's chefs, and it's not just that. But I can't really talk about a fireman or anything like that. I can say it's doable, to be sober in a kitchen.
Right. Yeah, and we're gonna get back into that sobriety. I'm gonna just real quick head over to our sponsor, give a little shout out. So we'll return after these quick messages. Don't go anywhere. Big thank you to our sponsor, Asian Time Cuisine. Asian Time Cuisine, located in Suntree at the Fresh Market Plaza, all the way to the south side. Go see Jimmy, go see the staff. They are incredible at what they do. Such a great sushi bar, fresh ingredients, big portions, creative flavors. Just go there, lunch, dinner, takeout, you name it. Got a full bar. Good wine selection. Really nice sake collection. And again, the food is amazing. Head over there, enjoy a time with your family and friends, business associates. It's really great for any occasion. And again, tell them Space Ghost Eats sent you. All right, we're back with Chef Christopher Morales.
Our sponsor looks good.
Yeah,
like I want to try that place now.
Oh, you haven't been?
No, I haven't been.
Oh.
No, I need to try that. I don't get over to that area anymore. I'm Merritt Island or.
No, I get it. And there's listen, when you talk to anything sushi, everybody has a favorite place.
Oh yeah.
And I mean, not for nothing, we have some really good places from Umami, Pacific Rim. I mean, there's some really good talent here.
Mm-hmm.
For me, I'm just like, I just love the presentations, and how the flavors go. When I see so much, how many restaurants have to have a California roll? Like, we get it. That's the intro level. But if you really want to elevate your menu, let's leave the California roll off and save those for, the takeout places, because, it's with imitation crab. There's nothing authentic about it. But I'm also like, I'm getting to the point where is the seaweed snappy.
Yeah.
Is the sashimi rice. The way, the
rice is a talent. Like, that's an art.
Yeah. And it shouldn't be jasmine.
No.
It should be a sushi grade
short
sashimi
grain
rice.
Short grain rice.
Yeah. And so you have to get all the elements right. And again, then you have to elevate it with some garnish. You have to elevate it with, again, some unique flavors, because everybody can, I can't tell you how many volcano rolls, like everybody seems to have like the same rolls, the same recipes. So I'm just like, no, I want to find a place that does their own unique thing, their own unique presentations. And man, I don't know if you watched that short clip, they have this sashimi presentation, and it was so good, because I'm a sashimi guy. I don't need the seaweed.
Don't give me the rice.
Fillers.
Don't give me the rice.
Right. I want the fish. And if that fish melts in my mouth, I'm talking like super tender, super flavorful. Because I'm not one of those that like doctors it up with the soy and the wasabi. I'll take some wasabi, cleanse the palate. I'll take some pickled ginger, cleanse the palate. But I'm not dipping my fish in all those, condiments. Like, no,
that green wasabi, that ain't even wasabi.
Right. Like, I want to taste the fish only, and it's got to be about the texture.
Oh, texture. It's how it's cut.
Right. Exactly.
And the quality of the fish, You got some great hamachi. Can I be honest with you and the viewers?
Yeah.
I like crab with the K.
You're right. No, I mean, listen, if you're getting crab rangoon.
Oh, God. I don't care if
I
don't care if it's like compressed pollock with spray painted red on it. I can eat a whole pack. I'm not gonna lie.
No, for in all intents and purposes, for the right thing. Like I remember one restaurant we had, one of the most most popular items was a spicy crab spring roll, and it was just the crab meat mixed with the now
the spicy mayo. Or
we thought it was like so exclusive. So the sashimi, the creamy sriracha mayo, and now of course everybody has it, but back then it was just like the crab, a little scallion, and mixed with the mayo, rolled up in a fried what's it
wonton
called? Wonton, and deep fried like an egg roll, sliced, and then more sriracha mayo drizzle, and that was our number one seller.
Of course it would be. Of course it would be.
I'd have my regulars. They'd come in. I'd see them on the books, and I'd just fire it. From the kitchen, and by the time they sat down, they had their appetizer, and that's how I treated my guests. But that was an easy one to sell. It was just like nobody denied it, and even if they kicked it back, I'm like, fine, more for me. I'm gonna go finish it in the back.
Exactly.
But so Asian Time, great place. If you were to choose a cuisine that you had to eat for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Indian.
Indian. Oh,
Indian.
Okay. That didn't take too so long.
Yeah. Indian.
If there was a cuisine that you had to make for the rest of your career, what would that be?
Pasta.
Really?
I'd make pasta.
Italian? Because the pasta is like, pretty.
I would. It would be
from Asian pastas, or
it would be an egg pasta. Sorry, Peter. It would be definitely an egg pasta.
I'm gonna get him some of that semolina for Christmas.
Oh yeah, semolina. I'm gonna send it over to you.
Yeah,
I'm gonna send it over to him.
Not to be confused with salmonella poisoning.
No. Now, if you had salmon infused with vanilla, would it be salmonella?
That's funny.
Sorry, Julia.
Oh, is it too soon?
Nah, I mean, it was a couple episodes ago. No, it's fine.
I know. Yeah, and what about that one episode? We everybody had the challenge, and somebody had to make the pearls. Somebody had to clarify. Somebody had, and there was like, and Kasuji took all the eggs that one episode. Like, I mean,
yeah,
there's been, is it gamemanship? Is it people just trying to like get a rise and get some attention? Like,
yeah, I mean, Kitsuji knows how to play the game.
Yeah.
Even though he's no longer on the show, all I can say is he knew how to play the game. He knows how to ruffle feathers. He knows how to get under people's skin.
And he always dressed to impress. I always saw a shirt and tie underneath the chef coat.
Always. I mean, if he's been on Top Chef. He's been on Top Chef Mexico, Top Chef Boston.
Oh wow.
He's been on numerous other shows, so he knows, and I recognize him. I recognize him the moment that I got in that van. I'm like, oh boy, like, but I can say he's the way he is. I mean, obviously, you see him call him a pompous, douche or a pompous chef,
right?
And I knew that I was gonna have to deal with something, but my strategy during the show while he was on it was to use him as a human shield. Mm-hmm. Because I knew that if I was on the losing team, he'd be the first to go.
Right.
And, there was some times where, he actually gave me, and I'm open about it, where he gave me advice on clarification.
Right.
I got that clarification one where I had to do a consommé, and I feel for Michelle. This was right after the grilled cheese incident where she served grilled cheese to Jose and Martha. And one thing they didn't show, and I hope I could say it, is that we needed 4 plates for that one, and she needed a common denominator and didn't have the right amount of grilled cheese, and went to go back for more grilled cheese, and I'm like, girl, we're on a time limit. Get the fuck out. Sorry, get out, go.
You drop whatever.
Perfect. And I'm like, you go, and she's like, oh, okay. And then like makes the grilled cheese, and then later on she's like, yeah, I was gonna make a tomato soup. Girl, there was no tomatoes in Martha's basket.
Right.
But I will say something about Martha Stewart. Her chicken,
that roasted one,
blew my mind. I'm glad they cut out a bunch of parts where they just saw me eating, just shoving my face full of chicken. It was hands down.
I feel like there's a lot of editing. Like
there's a lot of editing. There's a lot of editing. But hands down, probably one of the best chickens. And I'm not saying this to blow up the show or anything. It was hands down one of the best damn chickens I've ever had in my life. And it actually made me nervous when we walked on set and I see her like basting the chicken, or not basting, but like lathering it with the whipped butter. I'm thinking in my head, oh man, we're gonna have to roast chicken.
Right.
And now if I was serving like roasted chicken like you or my girlfriend or anyone, okay, it's roasted chicken, you could do it. But to do a roasted chicken on that level, that's, yeah. And I'm like, thank God we didn't have to do it.
Yeah, because you guys had to do sides for it.
We had to do sides for it. Yeah, I had to do. I was gonna do a mushroom bruschetta, just like something.
I remember. And your face when it was Michelle. No, it was Michelle, right?
Yeah, Michelle's the one who used. She was before me. She was.
There was only a couple loaves, and I feel like you announced it.
We all
Everybody
communicated.
had a game plan.
We all communicated, and Lee wrangled me in. He's like, just own that shit and pivot and do what you need to do, and I did. Like I don't let a lot of things get to me. Right. Like I might bitch about it later on. Yeah. So,
because you did. You gave her like a little swift to like, hey.
Oh yeah.
What the hell happened?
Oh yeah. And at that I was like, yeah, you're done. You're done.
Yeah, you're dead to me now.
And then it was a good feeling like beating her into clarification the next round. Because clarifying it's an art too. Yeah. You don't want to serve impurities to Martha and Jose. They know what a consommé is.
Right.
And you can't just clarify butter. But then Kitsuji needed to do spherification. Now spherification, Lee nailed it.
Yeah.
But he used agar. Agar is more of like a gelification, so almost like it's a seaweed based product that it actually it's like fruit by the foot. Think of fruit by the foot, but on a next level. But to use the calcium chloride and sodium alginate bath, it needs to be specific ratios, and we did not have the formula for
Right.
it. So that's why Kitsuji's look like, I don't know, like bloody teardrops. I don't know. It looked like shit. It was so bad. And Lee, like I looked at Lee's dish. I mean, when it was setting up, because we were able to go back and help our team
Right.
After we presented. And Lee's dish just nailed it. And that was the first time I actually was like, oh, man, Lee's on my radar now.
Mm.
And then slowly but surely, Jake ended up being on my radar after the family meal incident.
I feel like, some of the player strategies have been, I'm just going to lean back, I'm just going to stay alive, not ruffle any feathers. Where some came in, they're like, no, I'm going to try to dominate, so there's different, and it's always kind of fun with the reality shows as far as whose strategy is going to win, I mean, everything from Survivor, and I mean, no matter what. But everybody has that kind of like, I'm just going to be that soft-spoken, I'm going to stay off, anybody's radar, and just, put out enough to be competitive.
Yep.
And just maybe align myself with somebody else, or just, get somebody to, to maybe, kind of, maybe confide in a little bit, but everybody's so different. And that sucked that Jake and, had gone to Peter, like, hey, we're going to have each other's back. Mm-hmm. Was it a mistake that Jake had 5 coins, and he could have just saved Peter right away and just give him all those coins, but he's like, I'm just going to give 3, and that opened up.
Yeah.
That was a tough one.
Yeah, he had his specific ones, and I knew that I was going to cook off.
Right.
I mean, that lamb was complete trash, and it was embarrassing.
So what happened? The oven wasn't preheated.
So what happened was, what they didn't show, and I'm sure I could say this because the episode aired, was,
sorry.
Okay.
Sorry about that.
Oh, no problem.
You're good.
I'll make sure I edit that out.
No, everything was smooth.
Yeah.
Everything was smooth sailing, like for my family meal. Like
Right.
everything was smooth sailing. And then I look at the clock. I'm like, all right, it's time to fire my lamb. And when I fired it, I put it in the oven because I did the whole rack. I wanted the whole rack.
That was a lot of pounds.
Oh yeah, they were beautiful lamb. I mean,
was that like a 15, 20 pound rack?
They were probably like 7 to 10 pound racks. I mean, they were French. They were beautiful, dried out.
Right.
And I seared them, or how did I do them? No. I seared them, and then I was gonna finish them in the oven.
I remember that.
And then I'm like, man, like my lamb's not gonna be done.
Right. And then you panicked, and then you went to the fire.
Oh, I panicked. I cut it. I hacked the hell out of it. Right. Panicked, hacked it, put it on the grill. It caught fire. I was like, this is like the surface of the sun. And then I put it in the cast iron. I put it back on the grill. Everything that I could possibly do to ruin that lamb, I did.
All the mistakes.
And I was just cruising along to the whole like challenge. It was I was on time with everything. I'm like, all right, cool. I want to say it was the ovens, but like I said, I got to take responsibility for it. Like not once am I gonna ever say, oh, it was the oven's fault, or oh, this and that. No, I should have made,
because there was more than one oven. If one maybe couldn't.
Oh yeah, there was like 4 or 5 ovens, all at different temperatures. People had stuff in it.
Right.
No, I take responsibility. Yeah. Like that's the name of the game, is taking accountability for it.
Right.
And cooking for myself to keep myself on.
Right.
Was, and I hate that it was Peter.
Right.
But I feel like at that point in the show, like it would have been, if I cooked Emily off, if I cooked Jake off, it would have still been painful, because we became very close by that time. We were in it for quite a while.
Because now, at the fifth episode,
mm-hmm.
you're going from 12 to 7 hypothetically,
mm-hmm.
and then all of a sudden 6.
Yeah.
And so by then it's like, you could honestly look at each of those individuals and be like, man, it's going to be one of us.
Mm-hmm.
And then
we said that.
Yeah, and things start getting real, a little bit more real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I'm like, we are looking at a winner right now. You know? And it's like
we also got closer too.
Right.
Like, seeing each other through challenges, seeing our trials and our tribulations. Like, seeing us, suffer. Like when Peter, got sent home, like you can see it on Jake's face. He's like, fuck, man. Like that was painful. Like I watched it probably 4 or 5 times. Like, I watched, Jake just be like, God damn it, I couldn't save him.
And then And that was very noble, even though like you chose the deviled egg, which I was kind of like, I'm not sure if that's, the best, stay out of jail card, I mean, but, adding the caviar, you running over, being that kind of guy. Is that the new Chris, or is that would you have done that like 3 or 4 years ago?
Fuck no.
Right. So that's a very brand new behavior.
No, it was all about me, and I was close to Peter. Peter's, I was close to all the chefs, or most of the chefs, and I feel like I would have done that with anyone if I was gonna get beat. Like I said, it better be the best damn deviled egg, and if I'm gonna get beat, I want to get beat. Clean out of the gate. Not, I could have used this caviar, but I couldn't get the tin open. Those tins, they're a pain in the ass.
Oh, I know.
They're not. I mean, you need a caviar key most of the time.
Right.
The caviar that I just used this weekend, it was just a nice little
jar.
Oh, a little.
Oh no, it was a nice big
little.
Jar.
Oh God.
What kind of caviar?
It was Osetra.
Okay.
Yeah, it was
Black Sea.
Yeah. It was, and I had a taste.
Oh, you have to.
Of course, I got to taste what I'm serving.
It's only $120 an ounce, right?
Something like that. Yeah. I had problems getting truffles though this weekend. Yeah, they're all special order. You would think the Hamptons would stock them. They didn't.
Well, you'd think that anywhere in the world, including the Hamptons and maybe a couple exclusive restaurants in the city.
But this is how cool and this is how close we are. Like, I reached out to Julia and I'm like, hey Julia, do you know of any places in the Hamptons right now that has truffles? And she's like, oh, let me see, and she's giving me all these things.
Right.
And unfortunately, no one get it. But the yacht captain actually went and got me a truffle paste. Oh. This is how this network of these chefs on the show grew to what it is. Like, we all knew like there's gonna be one winner.
Right.
Like, there's no doubt about that. But we became like a family. Like, it's. I
think you're forced to. I mean, because you're doing something that's so very unique. That's such a small margin of chefs ever get to do is do something, a competition on a televised program. But so not only do you just come from an elite part of, the culinary industry, being considered a top chef, and then of all those maybe 100,000 in the world or in the, nationwide, maybe it's a little bit more, 1,000 maybe in the lifespan of all reality shows, in the next 20 years and the previous 20 years, whatever it is, will have that opportunity. And so just by default, just by being in such a unique circumstance, kind of forces you together. I'm not sure if we're able to talk about it, but what's the accommodations like? I mean, after the show wraps, you guys go back to the same hotel? Is there a hanging out kind of period, or you guys go your separate ways? Can you talk about what life is like? Being recording a show.
I mean, they put us up. They pretty much take care of everything.
Because when you talk about building a relationship, it's not just in the competition zone. It's got to be like, somewhere before.
Yeah,
you
so
guys have
we
breakfast together and
we have what's
things.
called reality. So if you see us like kind of having, when we all cheers for the person that that got sent home, that's reality.
Right.
Where, obviously, we're still. Everything's still going on,
right.
But that's real. Where we know that there's cameras there, we know that there's mics, but it's real talk. Like it's not like, oh man, we need to make this. No
one's put on a face or a character.
No, but what I can say is they stocked it with Purely Elizabeth granola. I mean, that was the first time I had Purely Elizabeth.
I had it for the first time this morning.
Seriously?
My girlfriend got a bag of this double chocolate.
Oh,
granola.
the cookie. Yes.
Bro,
yes.
Over milk. I felt like it was like,
like,
because I have, granola for breakfast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I felt guilty because I'm like,
I looked at the
I
back
feel like
of the
this
bag,
should be
and it's healthy.
a dessert.
I looked at the back and I'm like, wow, that's healthy.
Yeah.
But they stocked the reality with cookies. Oh man, I was in that cookie jar every day.
I bet.
But yeah, no, they put us up, and
so there is some time again in between recording, because the recording, I feel like it lasted, I mean,
it was a long time of recording. Yeah,
right.
It was a long time.
Yeah. So I mean, you guys must be around each other, like not
just
just
we're around each other
in the studio, but
7 days a week.
Yeah.
7 days a week.
Yeah. So and that's just that's going to breed relationships. I mean,
and as chefs got voted off and everything, from having a conversation with 12 chefs,
right,
you have a conversation with now 9, and then now 6, and then so forth, and you get closer and closer and closer, and you start being more open with these. Like every one of those chefs knows my girlfriend by name.
Right.
I know everyone's significant other. I know Tony. I know Jake, which is Emily's husband. We just became this, like, I don't know, a brigade. Like,
right.
Like I want to be in a kitchen where they're not just my employees. They're like my family, because I see them more than I see my family.
Right.
And for that time being, it was stressful where it was just these chefs. But it was just an amazing experience from the store, from everyone behind.
Right.
They were just all everyone was so nice.
Yeah.
I mean, it's Canadians. I only met one, like, angry Canadian, and I was in the airport with coffee. Like, I was moving out of the way. She goes, I was in line. I'm like, and I'm thinking in my head, oh, she's American. And she goes, sorry. And I was like, oh, nope, she's Canadian.
Sorry. Yeah, Canadians, it takes a little bit to piss off. So
yeah.
She was probably, like, either, a delayed flight, or probably been on layover.
I don't know.
It takes a lot to aggravate.
But I was like, okay, what? It's not a big deal. I'll pay for your car. I'll even let you go in front of me. It's not a big deal.
But the experience, it just seems really rich, and of course, the exposure. I mean, NBC is different than Food Network. A lot more viewers.
Big difference. Big difference. And I don't think we actually realized how big it was until Chef Lee's mom was driving down the 405 and took this real shitty picture of a billboard.
Right.
It looked like no offense, Lee, if you're going to watch this, I'm sorry.
Right.
It looked like a 70-year-old took this picture.
Right.
Like, it was just shaky. It was like part of the billboard. I'm like,
not in focus. Yeah.
Oh man, like, that's and they gave me hair. They edited hair on me on the billboard. I was like, that's awesome. And mind you, when they have the drone shots, it's all shiny and everything. And we're like, oh, man, that's a billboard. And then another one was found. And then another one was found. And then Martha posted on her Instagram this 10-story billboard. 10-story billboard
Times
of
Square?
us. No, on Sunset Boulevard.
Oh, wow.
And we're like, oh, shit, this is bigger than we thought. And then, we started getting like, hey, this is it. Then they debuted our names. They debuted our names in Food and Wine.
Oh.
And we're like, oh shit, like this is big.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, like, it just started picking up and taking traction, and then it ended up being
and now being officially pretty much halfway through.
Yeah, we're halfway through.
And are you getting recognized?
Oh yeah.
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 Very cool.
Yeah, it was pretty cool in the airport. Actually, I wasn't able to actually take a picture of it because I would have been that 70-year-old trying to take a picture. Actually, so in New York City, like, I went outside when I touched down. Or was it when I touched down or when I was leaving? No, when I was leaving yesterday. And I look over, and on top of a taxi is like an electronic billboard.
Right.
And I just caught the last end of a Yes Chef, like, little thing. And I was like, yo, that's my face. Like, that's my face essentially on a moving billboard.
Because I guess, especially the any kind of feature. I mean, billboards are going to be static. So even if you get, off in the third, fourth season, episode, you're probably still going to be in some of those marketing materials. But as the season progresses, and some of these more dynamic, marketing solutions like the digital billboard or the intros and other promotional things leading into new episodes, well, it's just going to be, it's going to be more and more fine-tuned to whoever is still existing. Yeah. So the marketing must also reflect, who the cast continues to be, not the cast that has been. So there's even that much more opportunity for exposure and so forth, right?
But it's all how you use it.
Right.
You can be voted off like Petrino on the first episode and still be, use it as a catapult.
Right.
It's all how you use it and how you interpret it. If you're sour about it, you're like, oh, I got voted off the first episode, yada, yada, yada. Right. This is a waste of my time. You're not going to reap anything. You're not going to get the true exposure that, that you could possibly do. Whether I win or I lose, like, I look at it as I won.
It'll always be on your resume.
Yeah.
No one can take that away from you.
No, and it's all how you use it. It's like, hey, you know, Tillit, like, you know, they sponsored the show. It's like, hey, like, you know, do a photo shoot with me. You know, I love your company. I'm not gonna do I'm not gonna do anything to sell me out. Like, I'm never gonna go to use a company that I don't like.
No, and I wouldn't see you exploiting you know, fame just to get you know on a box of, you know, a product that you don't.
Now, purely Elizabeth puts me on a box, I'm totally down for that.
That'd be actually a really cool collaboration.
Yeah,
know?
I actually think
Chef Chris is blank.
I think Chef Ronnie is trying to do a collaboration with her.
Dude, that'd be cool.
Yeah. I don't know if he's getting it, you know, but I'm not gonna lie. Like, I never used it before. I'm like, oh, look at this healthy stuff. I'm like, all right, whatever. I was like, I'm hungry. I'm in reality. Yeah. I'll eat some, and then I'm like, oh shit, this is actually pretty good. Yeah. They had the peanut butter one. They had the double chocolate chunk one.
Yeah.
Oh. Yeah,
it's decadent.
Yeah, and apparently she was. Come to find out, she posted she was on set. I never met her.
Oh no way.
Yeah, she was one of the guests that was eating in the restaurant.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do they pick those people?
I have no clue.
I want to be casted, dude. I mean.
Or you can be like Chef Ronnie and sit there and eat everyone's dish.
Does that what he?
Yeah, in I think episode 3. It was the one with Martha's Basket. So no, that was episode 2. Mm-hmm. So there was obviously an uneven number of chefs.
Right.
And he just sat there and ate everyone's dish.
I remember that. Yeah. So everybody had to make 3 plates, not just for the judges, but him as well.
He had to make,
because he did offer a judge, right? I mean, he was giving up an.
He was not picked. He was not picked. So I mean, obviously
he wasn't on a team.
No.
But his vote counts.
No,
it wasn't. Okay, so he was just.
But
tasting.
That was kind of crucial because now he could see what everyone cooked and how everyone's flavors were.
Yeah.
And of course, you got the Zanes and the Chef T's that are going to be heavy hitters.
Right.
Like Chef T, man, her restaurant, Union 41 in Bristol. If you're ever out there,
really.
Oh, get the what were they called? They were called the Sunday dinner. Oh my God, they. Sunday dinner, it's like this wholesome, like stick to your gut, but it had this like collard green gravy on it. Oh my God. Yeah. Oh,
say less. Is it more soul food?
It's more soul food. Yeah.
Really?
More soul food.
Oh man.
I mean, she's something that really touched me.
I love that cuisine.
Chef. Yeah. Chef T was. You know, I didn't know this about her, where her mom told her she was going to be nothing. You know, she's not going to be a chef, and I found out through the show.
Right.
You know, and for Chef T to get emotional, you know, she's a badass, dude. She is a full-on Southern soul, like, you know, obviously, you know, being black and being, you know, gay,
female,
and gay and all that. It's hard to make a name, and she owns it.
Right.
I have so much respect for her.
Right.
That she's like, you know what, this is who I am. If you don't like it, kick rocks.
Right.
And it shows, you know, not only her but actually as Zane as well, where they show their soul and they show what they interpret on a plate.
Right.
And it's just like, damn, you guys are badass. I was worried about those two.
Yeah.
I was worried. Those were the two that I was worried about, like right off the bat. And I didn't recognize Chef T.
Because they're big targets.
Oh, big targets, man. Big targets.
And you and Zane got, you know, I mean, if I feel like it's almost like one-sided. I mean, you've been like giving her like little jabs.
Yeah. And you know,
and she just sits back and takes it. She just shakes her head and she's like, yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I'm coming for you. Yeah.
So now you got a target.
Oh yeah, there's a target on my back. There's definitely a target, but I respect that. You know, you cook yourself on the show, you cook yourself off the show.
Right. Yeah. So what's next? Because we're kind of wrapping up the hour here. You're going back to the Hamptons or not?
Yeah. So
okay.
I'm out here. I'm doing a couple private dinners. I'm in the middle of moving right now, so I want to say that I'm open in June.
Right.
Very select dates. Obviously, you can go on Taste by Chef Christopher, inquire about a private dinner. I do travel. Basically, whoever sees us, if this reaches, you know, beyond Brevard and wherever else, I do travel, nationwide and worldwide. And then I leave for the Hamptons during the season. End of June all the way through July, and then apparently now I'm going to Aspen with my principal. So
these principals,
Yeah.
Is it a per diem, or you contract out? Like how do people book you, and what kind of rates could they expect? Or is that consultation only? Like, because it must be like very personal. Like if you're building 3 squares a day for a couple, that's different than one dinner for maybe a family of 5, or
I'll just give a base thing. It's a broad spectrum.
Right.
For example, I'm doing a dinner for 4. It's $250 per person plus cost of goods out here in Florida. It all depends. Like that's a 5-course 5-course meal.
Yeah, the number of courses, what kind of proteins.
Yeah. If you want it, like I've had clients come to me, hey, like I really want to impress my girlfriend. Yeah. Like, can you do something? I'll do it. I'll make it work. I'll do something that usually you wouldn't be able to do.
Right.
And then in the Hamptons, it ranges anywhere from $700-800 a day to $1,200-1,500 a day.
Yeah. Because I would imagine you're not just going to go there for a couple nights and pack up. I mean, they're probably going to keep you for like the season.
Yeah, I mean, I just went last minute. Like I was just in the Hamptons for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Came back actually for this show.
Good.
And came back, did this, and then I fly back out again. But it's a different clientele out there.
But is it for a family or
it's for a family?
Because I know a lot of people socialize in the Hamptons.
It's for a family. It's for the Mr. and the Mrs.
Okay.
And then they do entertain.
Okay.
So like I did.
So you're responsible for that.
I'm responsible for that. It all depends. There's clients that I'm able to give them a menu of my vision, and then there's other clients that they're like, this is what I want. This is how I want to cut. This is when I want it. This is how I want it.
They give you the menu.
They give me the menu. They give me specifics.
Wow.
Like this is how I want my tomatoes cut. This is what time I
Bougie.
want this. Bougie and healthy.
Right.
When you deal with the ultra high net worth clients, if for those of you who don't know what ultra high net worth is, there's rich and then there's wealth, and these are the wealth, and
like old money. Sometimes.
Yeah.
The Hamptons used to be a lot of old money, but now of course with there's a lot of tech, like new money with tech and stuff like that. So not everybody comes from, a how do you say, like a Rockefeller or those kind of families, but essentially those, and we're talking in the bank, over probably
it's 30 million. For ultra high, it's 30 million in assets.
Yeah. Okay.
And to them, like. For us, like, wow, you're like, wow, that's $1,000 a day. For them, that's like $100, maybe $10. It's a different.
Oh, they're probably making just on dividends. Of their holdings. $10 a second.
Yeah.
Just like it just rolls in, and it's just like continually just compounding. I mean, they'll as long as they're smart, and most of them, with that generational wealth, they're just living off dividends. Like you don't even touch the principal.
And what I will say is obviously I'm not going to give out who they are, but what I will say is when you think of people with that much money, they are very nice. They are just 2 amazing people where their staff has been working with them for years.
Right.
Their boat captain, their yacht captain has been working them. They're actually his yacht captain's moving cars from one estate to another. They're just good people. Like they're not.
They don't want a lot of turnover.
No,
and that's what I've seen is there's when you get some of those wealthy positions, that's a career. Like you may even be generational.
Yeah,
like you may be the kids chef one day, and so it's very exclusive. But if you get into that, there's going to be some super expectations.
Oh yeah,
because why couldn't you know how I like my coffee after the first 2 days? Like you're only serving me.
Yeah.
So you better know how I like my coffee, how I like this, and so you get to give them such a very
it's very intimate,
right?
It's
a level of service that most people would never imagine that they could get.
I have my own kitchen. Like I have my own kitchen there. There's a house kitchen, there's the estate kitchen, and then I have my own. And I stay down there, I do my thing. And
they would put you up in the cabana?
They put me.
You live on the grounds?
They put me in the housing, staff housing, which is like 3 miles away.
Okay.
Set me up with the car, flight, everything. It's a different experience doing private, and all you really need is like 2 or 3 clients a year.
Yeah, no kidding.
And with that, you're well over 6 figures.
Well,
if you do it right.
Right. I mean, if you work, the summer in the Hamptons, winter and Steamboat Springs or Vail or Aspen, then you could, you're only there again while they're entertaining and doing all things. The rest of the year, they're probably in the Mediterranean or doing somewhere else exotic where they have another fleet of vehicles and employees.
Yeah.
No, I know that type. I've worked in a couple country clubs doing fine dining service, and there's no cash, there's no credit cards, everything's a handshake, and or they may sign a little chit that just says that they were there, but there's no prices on the menu. There's just they just come in and they're the owners, they're the members, and that's just a country club setting. When you get into a personal residence, there's no it's unlike any other kind of service.
Uncapped. It's just it's what they want, and they express that. They express, this is what I want, this is how I want it, and this is when I want it. Like that's how I met Oprah.
Right.
Like I met Oprah through this. Like I was doing something down south, and I hear, "Hey, Sonny, come back here." And I'm like, well, I got a dog named Sonny, and my girlfriend, has a golden retriever.
Right.
And I'm like, oh, and I start petting it, and I look up, freaking Oprah Winfrey. And I'm like, oh, hey, how you doing? She's like, Sonny, stop bothering gentlemen. I'm like, no, it's fine. I was like, did you say his name was Sonny? She's like, yeah, his name's Sonny. I was like, here's my Sonny.
Right.
And I'm like, I would pull out my phone and just the muscles just like.
Oh, I bet.
And I'm like, no, you just like, because when you're dealing with that stuff and those type of people, like they're there to not have that issue.
Right.
So I'm like, no, I just want to show you my dog.
Right.
Like there's no difference between me and Oprah besides maybe a little tan and the money.
Right.
But at the end of the day, we're all human.
Right, and we both love dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
It's okay to have something in common.
Yeah.
Even if, again, their wealth can buy the city that you sleep in at night.
Tell me about it.
But Chris, how else can people get a hold of you? Because you may be booked, and I'm sure there's a very exclusive clientele that's already lining up to book you. But if somebody did want to see, inquire, maybe they want a special arrangement for Valentine's Day 2026 or whatever it may have you. How can people find you and learn more about you?
Yeah, so the easiest way to do it is go on my website, tastebychefchristopher.com. And if you click on that, you can go to contact. You can learn about me. I also sell artwork as well. Contact, fill out your name, kind of what you're doing, what you're looking for. Feel free to email me. My actual phone number is right on there as well. So you can reach me out through that. I can always make something work, just because, these principals out there are paying $700, $1,000, $1,200 a day. That's not what I'm asking for out here. Right. It's all curated, it's special one-off menus that I usually don't redo.
Right.
I have done it in the past where it's like, hey, I really want that risotto. I'll do it. I also do cooking classes. So if you and some of the girls, all I ask is for you to sign a waiver, because most of the time they're drinking.
Yeah.
And I don't want to see someone cut themselves and I get sued.
Not only that, but there's also a society that's like, oh, this guy has a little fame. Maybe I could, tell somebody he inappropriately touched me.
Yeah,
because everybody's lawyer happy now. I mean, for the silliest things, you just have to protect yourself, because you just never know. I mean, if somebody thinks they could get away with it, and and get a little fame by bringing you down, it's unfortunate. It does happen, and that's unfortunate for the victims who actually have a very valid case. But all too often, you just never know where somebody's intentions may lead to, especially if they're a little inebriated. And,
that's why I'm just like, sign a waiver.
Yeah.
You drink, but I'll teach you, basic things like my entry one. I'll teach you how to do risotto, how to break down a tenderloin, how to sear a scallop. Just very simple things where you can do. I give you the recipes.
I'm real easy. I just just find me some elk or ostrich.
Oh. Got to soak it in milk though.
Yeah,
got to soak it. You know what I'm learning nowadays.
Well, when you're in the mountains, elk is abundant. I love elk.
I'm learning to use a crock pot.
Whoa!
I was shitting on crock pots for so long, and then I meet Becky, and she's like, "I'm gonna make you this crock pot." The first thing she made for me, she was so proud of it. It was like this pot roast.
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh baby, these are good," and it was like chewing on this microphone.
Right.
They were like bouncy balls. I was like, oh, sweet baby Jesus. And then she's like, no, I think I need redemption. So she did. I think there was a pork loin next.
Right.
and or not the pork loin. There was like a pork shoulder, and oh my god, pork shoulder and pepperoncinis.
Yes.
Like, okay.
That's a Mississippi. What do they call it? Say it out loud.
Mississippi pot roast.
Mississippi pot roast. My friend makes that as well.
Oh man,
and it's a simple enough recipe. But
even great, I can do it.
What's great is you set it and forget it.
Yeah.
8 hours later.
I don't understand how that works.
And you could take a pork shoulder. You could take a really rough cut of beef. Something again.
Well, not the roughest.
Maybe not the roughest. But normally, or even like a whole chicken.
Yeah.
Put a chicken.
We did our turkey in there.
And add some stock and some onions and some carrots, potatoes. Come back and you have a meal.
Yeah.
Like waiting for you 8 hours later. No. Listen. There's plenty of people who have written all kinds of cookbooks just on crock-pot recipes.
Dude, crock-pots are insane, and I have a different respect for them. Will I ever serve it to anyone?
No,
it's not. Unless someone pays me to give them crock-pot stuff. Highly doubtful, but I mean,
but for entertaining, because you could have 3 or 4 crock-pots. I think I have at least more than 2 I know in my house. And just because they just get collected, the girlfriends leave them, whatever else. Believe it or not.
Oh, so my next girlfriend will have a crock pot. Okay, perfect.
The girls love them, and it wasn't until I had an ex who, she taught me a couple recipes.
Yeah,
I'm like, what are you doing with that whole chicken? Like, I don't know how to,
They're so easy.
Yeah,
so easy.
You just drop it in, and we.
Yeah, I'm like, here, babe, sous vide this. She's like, huh?
Yeah. No, I couldn't believe how simple it is. So, don't be afraid of your crock pots. It's a simple, especially it's entry level as far as
it's
kitchen utensils go.
Very easy.
Yeah. What else is can people contact you? I know you have some really good Instagram too.
Yeah, so Instagram, it's a little bit harder to contact me through Instagram just actually because of the show.
But if they're a fan and they just want to
follow, if they want a fan, we chef with a 0. Boom, right there. Yeah. We with a 0, period, chef. You'll see my face.
Yeah.
You can kind of see, up to date. I'll always post like, some snapshots of the upcoming episode. Like that one right there is from tonight's episode. Not that one. Nope, not that one. That's Food Network. That one.
Oh, okay.
So that's tonight's episode.
Redemption.
Yeah, I can't really talk about it, but
it looks like there's something in a skillet. What are you tossing there?
Okay,
we can't say. We can't say. Too soon. No spoilers. Okay.
No.
But certainly, follow Chef Chris on Instagram.
Yeah, and if you do message me and I don't get you back right away, it's not because I don't want to deal with you.
But he's a famous chef. Like
no, I just have different mailboxes for different things. So
no, you have to separate your different lives. All right. Well, I've kept you too long. Thank you so much for
of course. Thanks for having me again.
Yeah, I mean, here on Space Coast Eats, again, we try to get all the locals doing fun things, even if it's not locally here that you're participating, but being able to come back home and talk about all your exploits around the country. Please feel free to always come back on the show.
Oh yeah,
and share more with us because. We love all the moving parts and all the excitement and the drama, and it's just it's really cool to have somebody again of your caliber not only call brevard-county home, but be able to come back and visit and share all these cool little adventures.
The world's big out there.
All us little folk over here. But once again, thank you so much, Chris. We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Space Coast Eats. Again, my name is Jesse, and until next time, eat well. Okay, guys? Talk soon.